Okay, so hello, welcome back to Shiny Tree Trash. Thank you for joining me again. It's been lovely seeing so many of you liking and subscribing to the previous videos. So thank you ever so much for that. So this next series of videos is going to take us through to another area of investigation with the three sets of the shifter paint range from Vallejo. Just to recap, these are from Home Firth Gaming Centre, and there's a link below if you're interested in purchasing any of these for yourself. I want to recap over what we did in the last videos, and that is that I tested these colours with the use of a brush and a palette. And I'd just like to comment on my dad. My dad said it was like watching paint dry. So this video is for my dad because we're going to step it up a gear and keep my dad entertained because he wasn't impressed with the first three videos. So I also wasn't that impressed with the results of these paints on the paper, and I was a little bit disappointed, if I'm really honest. So I mentioned that I thought these would be better over a dark black ground, so I'm already armed with a piece of black paper, but following the instructions from the back of the packaging that Vallejo have put on, I just want to quote a few lines because that's what I'm going to follow is their directions. So they're saying that the paint is best over a curved surface and the best effects are obtained over a gloss black base. So that's what I'm going to do. It's quite interesting as well because it gives us a little bit of information about these colours and the way that the magic works, that beautiful shifting effect and the chameleon where it changes from one colour to another, that we didn't actually witness with the paper, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to see next. It happens because there's little prisms of flakes in the paint, and depending on the lighting conditions, it's how it reflects that colour back to us. So we're going to see that all being well in this video. So really excited about it. So just to explain what we're going to be doing then, we had these lying around the house, little sample pots for household paint. What I've done, using an airbrush, I've sprayed them with a surface primer. So I've used that with an airbrush and I've got that effect. I've gone on then to give it a quick gloss coat with the airbrush again to give this effect. So I think you can appreciate that one's matte and one's got a sheen, a gloss finish. So going on the recommendations from Vallejo, they're saying that it should be better over this pot because it's got a gloss finish. And I think what my understanding is that those prisms are going to have a more reflective value and it should enhance the effect of the colour change, that shifting effect. So there's 6 paints in each pack, so my intention is to run the airbrush with 3 colours over the matte ground, and then just to experiment then we'll run the next 3 over the gloss ground and we'll just see, we'll observe the effects. Okay, so I'm going to get started in this video with the space dust collection, so I'm going to put the other 2 to one side and we'll look at those in the next video. So I'm going to just take these out of the packaging, and while I'm doing that I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the airbrush, the way I'm going to apply these pigments. We're going to use them neat using the airbrush. It does say on the packaging that you can alter the viscosity. If you want to run it thinner, you can do, but I'm going to run it neat through the airbrush. The airbrush I'm going to use is a Badger airbrush. So this is it, and if you're interested, that's its case. and I'm going to use a compressor to be able to run this airbrush. I'm going to run it at a PSI of 15, and I think on the packaging it says sort of 15 to 17 off top of my head. Okay, so I'm going to take my matte ground, is what we said we were going to do, and I'm going to start with the first colour in the pack, which is the orange violet. If you remember, that's what it looked like on the paper. It had a bronze effect, it had an iridescent sheen, but we wasn't seeing that change between the orange and the violet. Okay, so I'm going to have to just let my compressor go in. There's going to be a little bit of noise. And while I'm just setting this up, I just want to remind you that you can find me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. If you follow me on those domains, then you can find out when I'm putting on new videos. Okay, so the air compressor's on now, and the air pressure's being checked at small disaster. I set it too high, so we've just had to reset it again, so it's at 15 psi, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not going to blast out on me like it just has, but luckily for you, you don't see that. Okay, so I'm going to run my first colour over the matte ground. The first colour is orange violet. It came up just really bronzy on the paper, and we didn't see that violet effect at all. So, fingers crossed, you're going to see that happening now. I'm going to just put the colour, as mentioned, I'm using it neat, into the reservoir. You only need a few drops, it goes a long way, so I'm just putting that in. Very steadily, I'm going to try and apply this now to our matte ground. You can always build the layers up, so just nice and steady. And I'm just going to allow that to lip over the surface as well at the top. Just going to put a little bit more in so we can see that. Okay, so that is so hard to see on camera. I'm going to let that dry, because what I have found while I have been playing around with these paints is that once they dry, they become a little bit more intense. But what I am going to do is I'm going to use this black paper just so we can see it on the black paper as opposed to the white paper. So I'm just going to spray that to the side of what we've already done. I'm seeing that coming out. I don't think you can see that too well at the moment, but again, we'll just review this at the end when they've all dried. Okay, so it's important when you're using your airbrush that you flush it out after use, so it doesn't interfere with the next colour that you're going to use, but also so it doesn't clog the needle up, because the airbrush uses a very fine needle. So I'm just putting that into my reservoir and pushing that through. While I'm doing that, I'd just like to take the opportunity to remind you to like, please, share and subscribe if you're liking these videos. Ding that bell as well, and then you'll get notifications of when my next ones are coming up. At the moment, I'm having the opportunity of putting a few out a week, which is fantastic. But if you do that as well, you will know when I'm going to do the exciting art and craft projects that are going to be on the back of this range of paints. Okay, so the next one on the list was a translucent one in the book. It's this one here. Had a lovely haze of violet, very pearlescent. Now I can see I've got a little bit of water still in my reservoir, so I'm just going to put that on the paper here. And I'm just going to rotate my container And I'm just going to, ooh, that's lovely. That's really glowing. I'm seeing that intense violet that just seems to really come alive against the black. That's lovely. I'm really seeing that. I'm hoping you're going to see it once it's dried and I can rotate it under the camera. Getting a little bit trigger happy there because it's so delightful and edible under the light that I'm seeing it. Even makes nice nail polish. Got a nice effect there on my nail. So I'm going to just blast that there on the black. I think you can appreciate even in this lighting. Wow, look at that. That's dazzling. That's so electric. And it is called electric blue. So that's nice that the titles and the names and even the pictures on the bottles are actually relating now to what I'm seeing on the page, which is fantastic because I didn't see that with my last experimentation on white paper. And to be fair, it's not what the make Vallejo recommend, so I am following their recommended intended use. On the packaging as well, it does say acrylic, airbrush, metallic paint, so that's why I'm using an airbrush, even though I'm not an expert and I would have naturally shied away from it, especially on a camera. I'm doing this for you guys so you can see how they're meant to be used. Okay, so the next one on the hit list is green, blue, violet. Okay, so I'm following the same order as what I did in my book, just so I can keep continuity and I can keep it a fair test to do comparisons. Okay, so again, this was translucent in the bottle, just white looking. On the page, you can see just a halo of colour. We're seeing a greeny tinge coming through. Just going to make sure there's no water in my airbrush before I start and embarrass myself further. Ooh, nice. That is really lovely. I think I could spray that all day long. And I think you can see that it's got a greeny tinge and it's quite silvery. It says green, blue, violet. I'm seeing all of that there. That's beautiful. So I'm going to pick up my tub, rotate it. I've got a small space there. Look, even my airbrushing's improving. Hopefully over the next couple of videos you'll see that it's spectacular. Okay, that's pretty much run out. So I'm not going to reload it. Is that showing up? I'm going to let these dry, but that's gone on there nice. I'm seeing a greeny blue haze there. We'll just go to the beginning. That's the first one we did, which is the orange violet. There's a violet tone coming through. Can you see that? And orangey. Dip it that way. Rotating it round. Look at that. That's fantastic. Ah! Look at that. It's like oil slick in a can, in a bottle. I'm seeing, from my angle, I'm seeing a line of really beautiful jeweled purple, electric blue, and then I'm thinking green, but I'm actually thinking that's the next colour. Oh, isn't that fantastic? That is worked so much better as prescribed on the packaging, using the trusty airbrush, using a dark ground. I'm really pleased with that. So we'll continue with the last three on the gloss pot. Now, I'm possibly thinking this is going to work better because it's got that gloss ground. That might help with those prisms in the paint and help with that reflection. See if it helps reflect, get my words out, reflect the light better. So we'll test that theory out. The next one is bright gold with a brown tinge. On the page, next one here, it's a translucent and you can see the gold tinge. Very subtle, very soft. I'm actually squatting down and seeing it as well, and I can see it like a bit of a peachy. I wouldn't say brown, it's looking peachy. Hopefully you'll see that better over the 3D form, and it should be heightened as the others have been with the black base. Exciting. Okay. So that's coming through. Yeah. So I'm going to just spritz it underneath there. Oh yeah, wow, 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 wow. Look at that, it's like magic. Can you see that? You're seeing that as green, I think, there, but I've got that, a nice halo of bronzy brown. When I've finished, I'll pick this paint. Look at that. Oh, it shimmers. Oh, gorgeous. Okay, so let's try it out here. That's come in, yeah, lovely. Look at this. You'd even think I've been airbrushing for years. Got nice control now. Finally got used to it. I'm seeing this really green. How's that looking on the camera? Yeah, green. It looks green, doesn't it? That's even looking green. So this is, remind myself, golden brown. I'm seeing a bit of brown and I'm seeing green. Not so much gold at the moment. Nice. Okay, I'm getting a bit trigger happy, getting a bit giddy. I'm seeing brown. If I tilt it that way. Right, we'll play with them at the end so you can see better. Bit more, wash it out. Okay, so we are on number 4 of the 6. Next is Old Gold, Grey Violet. So this was a really vivid purple on the paper. It's this fella at the top here. There it is. Pretty enough. Again though, we didn't see that effect, which obviously was my fault because I did it on white paper with a brush on cartridge paper. So I'm already starting to think about my personal project of what I'm wanting to do with my little beetles, and I'm thinking now so much, is it going to work on paper? I'm thinking now maybe I will create some forms and paint onto them. Still having to think about that. So if you've got any ideas for me, please let me know in the comments. Or if there's anything you want me to explore further with this paint range, again, comment, let me know, and I will do my best to look at that. That's interesting. Looks very greeny, very similar, even though it's coming through purple from this angle. And I think you'll agree from what you can see, they look very similar there. But we'll put it on the pot and we'll see. Seeing a halo of purple. Just going to lift it over the surface there as well. So I'm seeing purple around the edges and like a greeny gold. Okay, so that must be the connection with the gold there is actually looking quite greeny. is what I'm assuming from the names, because we've got bright gold in the previous one, which is looking greener, and this is old gold slash violet, so I think it's the gold that actually has is taking on more of a greeny tinge rather than what I would perceive as gold. Okay, so again, quick flush through. Now, if this purple, once dried, works, I'm just going to quickly flash this at you. So this is sort of the intention of the use that I'm thinking of using these paints for, is replicating some of the colours that we can see on these beetles, and I'm thinking that that purple could really work for these ones. Hang on, get my camera left and right. This one here, basically. I think that could work really quite well. Right, so the last one we're looking at is the red pink. It's got a very pink base, and it came out really pinkish on the page, even though it said pink on the name reference, red gold. I didn't see a lot of that red. So we'll see what we see now. That's coming through clean. Just give that a little blast. Top of our paper against where the pink is. Yeah, I'm seeing from my angle, and I think you're seeing the same, that definitely must be the gold effect with the pigmentation, because the name is saying red gold, so I think it is the gold that is in each of these that we're seeing on the page here that's coming across as a very green tinge. Once I've finished, what I'm going to do is I'll hold them all up and we'll just move them around under the light, and hopefully with the light that I've got in here, I'll keep tilting it and hopefully you'll see some of that shifting chameleon effect. But already my thought process is that these are a winner for being on a black ground, a winner for being on a curved surface because it gives the paint that opportunity of movement. Airbrush, if I was a little bit more competent and effective, I think is good, but it'll come with practice. I've got another 2 packs to go at, so that'll help. Right, I'm going to flush this through for the final time with this box, and while I'm doing that, it'll give that last pot the quick opportunity of drying, and then we can just have a quick review of what we've seen. And while I'm doing this, I'll just update you as well that my intention is to do a further video looking at Magic Dust, which is the next box, and then I'll go on to look at Galaxy Dust. So we'll look at all 3 boxes in the same manner, so we can look at them as they're intended to use with an airbrush on a black ground, and we'll comment as well. We'll see whether or not the gloss ground is more effective than the matte. So just going to quickly set that compressor to stop so you can hear me a bit better. So 1 flash. There we go, nice and quiet, don't have to shout. So I'm going to just bring back in the paper, and then we'll have a look at the pots. So the paper, I think we all agreed, didn't work, wasn't impressed. Okay, here's my black paper ground, which is a lot more effective. I'm just going to roll that. They're definitely metallic, beautiful shimmer, and I can see the colour change from where I am looking down from this angle as opposed to what I'm seeing on the video, which is what you're currently seeing. So I'm just going to try and rotate that book this way, and I think then you can appreciate hopefully the difference No, I'm going to have to do it that way. It's a science in its own right, this. It should be a science experiment. If I rotate it like that. I think you're going to have to trust me to know that these are chameleon effective. They are shifting in colour. Really quite pretty. So much more impressed with them through this application. Let me know if you are seeing this on camera or not. I think it's hard. Maybe there across both screens now. I think I can see it a bit better. I'm seeing green there as opposed to on the other screen where you can see myself. We're seeing it blue at the top towards my face. I can definitely see that red as opposed to here, which is purple. So yeah, big thumbs up. That's working. Lovely. Let's have a look at the two pots. So the one that shows the ineffective technique of airbrushing here. Oh wow, look at that. That's amazing. So where you're seeing me there, doesn't that look amazing? Would you not agree? Comment below if you think so. I think that's incredible. That's looking like oil slick. That so much speaks to me about my beetle project. I can see that perfectly for the wing cases. I'm going to just gently rotate it round and round. So that one was the first colour we looked at with the dodgy spray painting on behalf of moi. It's not working on this camera very well, but I'm just going to continue doing it this way. So apologies that you're not getting the best angle here, but I think it's working there. Just going to rotate that. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful. So that's the top there. So we're seeing the pinkish tones, the green, the blue. Just going to rotate it down here, see what we see. I think my lighting's very well. Oh, there, green. Wow, nice. Ooh, emeraldy. Electric blues. What's that? It's like Christmas, isn't it? Keep getting gifts that keep coming. That's lovely. How do you describe that? Gorgeous. Let's bring in the other one. That's that beautiful green, that old olive green. Let's rotate that one round. Okay, so these, if you remember, all had the gold. All three of these had that gold ground, that gold flip. So we had, just going to remind ourselves, we had the gold and the brown, the gold and the violet, and the red and the gold. So to me, that one's standing out the most, that really lovely green. I am seeing flecks of like a rosy, reddy, but I wouldn't say red, it's more of a rosy, rose gold. But they're quite similar, but that for me is my favourite. Okay, so that one was the first one, which, sorry, it was the second one, which is the electric blue extreme violet. Love that one. That's that one there. Gorgeous. Okay, so thank you for joining me. I'm going to just keep on gawping at these and playing with them a little bit more in different lighting conditions. But I hope you join me for the next set, which is magic dust. And we'll repeat this exercise with the airbrush and investigate these. So hope to see you soon. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ding that bell if you want to know when we're putting on new videos for notifications. Thank you.